Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Today, a mighty impressive looking kit loaned to us by a friend of the channel, Stewart Neale. It's the RyeField Model Jagdpanther G.2. A real brutal model if ever I saw one. Very imposing artwork with full interior. He does like his full interior, Stewart, I tell you. So it's kit number 5022. Now I almost got out the main one I've got, which I've previously done a review on anyway. But that was the G1 version. I thought actually it's not quite the same. And trouble is, if you do side-to-side comparisons on such massive kits as these, very easy to mix them up and it just take over. It's a very difficult thing to do well, I've got to be honest, in side-by-side comparisons, especially when you've got a kit with lots of parts and they end up getting all mixed up and all over the place. It becomes a bit of a nightmare to administer, so I think we won't do that, but I'll leave you a link. I'll put you a link at the end over here, and you can go and have a look at that one just to compare them. So let's have a look at what we've got here. So this is a 35th scale kit, of course. A RyeField. I do quite like RyeField. I find that they go to quite a lot of detail and the moulding is usually pretty good. So here's a shot of it. You can see clearly that we've got an outside shot, exterior shot, plus with no top on you can actually see what the interior looks like. And it's got the absolute full Monty interior, this one. And this is a heavy kit. I've got it on my hand and it feels, yeah, I couldn't keep it here for too long because it's quite heavy. Over on the side we've got a couple of different schemes. We've got what looks like a sort of a Normandy style scheme, I'd call it there. And then we've got another one which is more of a generic scheme. This kit is a product of, obviously, RyeField 2018. So it's, yeah, okay, it's nearly 7 years old now. So we will have a proper look at this, have a deep dive into it. Could take a while though, because it feels really heavy, the box, honestly. I think there's a lot of plastic in it. Let's take a look. Thanks to Stewart for loaning us the kit. He actually sent me a list of some photos as well, of all his massive stash. He's not one of these guys that has a second house. Not quite that bad, I have to say. He's one of the more sensible ones. But there was plenty to choose from, let's put it that way. And this is one of the ones I came up with. Got some photo etch. Oh gosh, that looks nice. Right, we've got plenty to go at. Start. There's a lot of plastic, there always is in there. Right, let's start with that then. Let's start with, we've got some decals. It's a resealable bag, so I will open it. Are these bags resealable? They're resealable. Good result. That's nice because it means that we can return them pretty much in the condition that it came. Now then, oh, okay, there's not a huge amount in here in terms of variety, I mean. So we've got two options. One of these vehicles comes with no number on the side, which is kind of unusual. The other one has 323, as you can see. But there are a lot of stencils, a heck of a lot of stencils. But they look very nice. They look very finely printed, minimal carrier film, I'd say. So that's, yeah, very nice indeed. We'll pop that back in its bag. And I'll zoom you back so you're not looking at green screen all the time. What I really need is an auto zoom, and just press a button, it just zooms back on its own. It doesn't really work that way and it's a bit slow, as you probably gathered. So please be patient if you do get a bit of the old green screen. It's not intentional. And sometimes it takes too long to go zoom in and zoom out and zoom in again, you know what I mean? That is very nice, got to say. That's a good start. Then we've got our photo etch. Well, there's actually two frets of it, actually, not one. Ooh, okay. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look. Oh, this is absolutely lovely. Look at this. You're going to like this, I think. Wow, it's so finely done. They do things like this very well, actually. First of all, it feels very thin. They call it photo etch, or they call it Y, like sprue Y almost. But as you can see, there is some really, really fine photo etch here. Quite a lot of everything, really. All the small parts though, which is what you want. You don't want big photo etch. Just things like the grills, yes, absolutely. Looks very realistic. and odd things like braces and the jack. I think that's got photo etch for the jack. I mean, it's lovely and thin. It's not like Tamiya photo etch or some others. Very thin indeed. And then there's this one, which seems to be, I'm not sure what it is actually. I think it's some of the bits around the tracks areas and around the running gear areas, isn't it, mainly? We're calling this sprue Z. So that gives you an idea how many sprues are in this kit. You can tell straight away we've got, what's that, 26, 27. That's quite a lot of parts. That is beautifully done. Again, nice and thin. A real nice fret photo etch. So yeah, quite impressed actually with that. Photo etch sometimes leaves me absolutely cold. It's not done well. In fairness, RyeField tend to do it pretty well, I think. From my experiences, they were quite good on that Puma as well, as I recall. One of the reasons it won me over, I think. It was very well priced, that one. Right, anyway, enough of that. Let's get straight into it. So, it's the G.2 Jagdpanther. Sadly, being origin in China, there is no history, which still bugs me. And you know, RyeField are getting a lot of things right. This one they're not getting right, along with a lot of their brethren. They just don't seem to bother. But anyway, there we go. So it's straight into the build. Yes, I was right. There is a look at the sprue tree map. It's huge. Oh, it goes on forever. There's 2 pages. They've had to reduce the print size right down. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, it just goes on and on and on. Any more? I'm quite sure they called it Z. I don't make that 27. But anyway, there's cable included, metal cables. There's track links. That's why. Track links, 190. Oh. I'm losing the will to live. This is reminding me of Jason Model Kit stuff. He has a fit if you mention RyeField and track links. He almost has a meltdown. Because, as per there is always a lot of them. And he had some bad experiences. I think that was with a Panther. I know he's had some bad experiences, but yeah. I can't really comment because I've not actually built a RyeField. Have I done any RyeFields? Have I not built one yet? I don't think I have actually built one yet. I've got some. I've got the Tiger. I've got the Puma. But I don't think I've actually built one. Just like a space mainly, and all the other excuses. But anyway, let's just crack in. Let's just crack on. Let's just keep an open mind because normally their moulding is nice. They're particularly good at the crisp stuff. Let's just see what they come up with here. So, starting off, slightly unusually, we're starting off with the gun barrel. And we've actually got a spring. Going to put a spring in, so it's going to be a sprung barrel. That's quite cool. So we've got a sprung barrel that's to take the recoil, which I quite like the idea of. What does that mean? What does that mean? Do not glue, I think it means. That's clear, isn't it? Can't recall seeing this before. Check this out. What does that mean? Not the arrow, this one. It looks like a Lego figure, but I think it's supposed to be a tube of glue. Do not glue is what it means. Okay. Again, clarity is not the strong point of the Chinese manufacturers, as we know. You've got the recoil suppression system shockers here, and quite a lot of detail, typical RyeField. You've got 2 halves of the barrel, they go together. I never like that. I always prefer to have slide moulded, you know. Then we've got all the breech assembly going together here, and then bringing it to the main barrel and the main breech, like 2 assemblies, and you bring those together here. Step 5, no description, typical Chinese, you know. Look down, horizontal, look up. I don't find it the easiest to follow, if I'm being really honest. You know, it's not Airfix or Tamiya, is it? Do you know what I mean? Even SEM. I'd say Zukimura is still probably the best instructions of the lot, but anyway. A lot of breech, and the gunner's position is here. I terrific amount of parts, quite a lot of photo etch. This is going to be a long build. Again, typical RyeField, really. But they are nice, you know, there's a lot of detail in these kits, so if you want a full interior scale model, then this is the one for you, probably. So you're going to attach all this, you bring in your gun barrel and your breech, now all one assembly, and you pull those together onto its mounting sort of pivot, and then you start to actually work on the actual armour element of it. So you've got some internal armour going on here. Lots and lots of parts, which I'm not even going to begin to try and name them all because they're just tiny brackets and mountings and all sorts of fixing points. Internal of the mantlet here, which is going to go in, again, quite a few detailed items there. You've got the machine gun, which is an MG34, I think. Is it? Yeah, 34. And this, of course, is all going into the gunner's position, which you're looking at. I think you're looking at here, pretty much upside down. Yeah, I'm sure you are looking at it upside down, because that's a seat, isn't it? And then that's going through goes out through the glasses there. The gun port, should call it really. So then you've got your machine gun going out, gun port going through there, and your main gun breech going out there. And then the main forward barrel is being assembled here. Lots of photo etch again. It's going to be quite fiddly, isn't it? Anyway, it's not a quick build, this one. It's not for those that like a quick build. Yep, through the outer mantlet, sort of glasses area, through into the main hull, and then we go onto the back, and we start doing all these grills that go above the engine. Quite a lot of parts again. Oh, huge number of parts here. It's making me, I'm getting a headache. I mean, I like RyeField, I genuinely do like them, but I haven't built one yet, and this is why when I hear stories people like Jason, it's like I'm a little bit nervous. We shall see. We shall see. I'll have to have a crack at one of them, and then I'll know what it's like. Probably wish I'd not bothered. I know even Stewart says they're not quick kits to build. You know, they are fiddly. But there's a lot of great detail going in here. You've got all your hatches, your rear escape hatch here, with all the handles on it. It's the detail in the little tiny handles that are going on there, and there's all sorts of things. There's little periscopes, there's air vents. Goodness me, there's so many. Oh, there's some tow hooks as well here. And then it's showing you here, cables need to be made by yourself. Cables need to be made by yourself? Really? I'm not impressed with that, but anyway, let's move on. It's not like I'm being negative or not, it's just there's enough work to do in this kit without having to make your own cables, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, why don't we just scratch build one then? It's a bit like that though, isn't it? They're a bit cheeky, aren't they? Anyway, we've got a lot of side accoutrements, shall we call them, including lots of tracks, and there's quite a few of those that go on the side there. Over here we've got like a hanger rail, which ends up sort of mounting where the mudguards go. It's like this is like a mounting rail for the mudguards ultimately. Then we have got a tube on the side, which I think has the barrel cleaning rods in it. And then we get down to the lower hull. It kind of jumps around a bit, doesn't it? I find the order a little bit unusual as well, but anyway. Then we've got lots of little brackets. Oh, there's a lot of parts here. Look at this. Ooh, I can tell it's going to be a difficult build in terms of sheer workload because it's so thick, the book. How many pages have we got here? Oh my lord, there's 44 pages of instructions. Anyway, it's not a bathtub, obviously, style hull. You've got to build it all up. Typical for them, of course. You've got your torsion bars here going in across the bottom for the drive wheels. I mean, of course, the reality is that they don't really do anything. They're just a torsion bar with a wheel attached to it that spins. The drive, of course, is at the front, isn't it? Your sprockets. That does all the work on a tank like this, and there they are. So you've got one side and the other, blue and red. Let's differentiate them out for you. And that goes under the floor, basically, effectively. And then we've got a lot of PE parts here, a heck of a lot of PE parts you're going to have to bend and twist. Yeah, I don't think this is the kit for me. I think I'm going to stick with the Meng. I thought the Meng was complicated until I saw this. I'm thinking, geez, it looks almost Airfix-like by comparison. Oh my god. And they've got all these internal sort of dividers between where the torsion bars go in. A lot of parts going in here. Just see if I can zoom back slightly for you. There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of parts coming in here, as you can see. Cut out the red part if you want to install the movable suspension. So you've got an option of movable suspension if you wish. Okay, that's interesting. I might go for that. In for a penny, in for a pound. You're putting this much detail in, eh? Again, all these are photo etch parts. Oh. Then we've got things like ammunition boxes. They are. Those bullets. Quite hard to see because they don't tell you, you know. A kit as detailed as this needs to have some more explanation attached to it. I'm sorry, they really do. And it's not just RyeField, you know, we know that Meng don't do it and Border certainly don't do it. It's just not good enough, really. They're not cheap kits. They've done a beautiful job with the plastic and then they just leave you fumbling around trying to understand. Instead of it being the immersive experience it would be from, you know, Tamiya or even maybe some of the Meng have got more descriptive than this. Anyway, first step to assembly, what's that? These are like a torsion bar. It's just not super clear what they're saying, really. Second step assembly. Okay. Got here, oh, we've got some drive units here. Is this a compressor? I think it might be a compressor. So many parts that I've got no idea what they are because they don't tell me. It's hard work. It's hard going reading it, really. And you've got your driver. Is it the driver? Yeah, I think so. The driver's position here of the seat. And you've got this compressor assembly. I think those are pumps for things like an air pump for the air conditioning and heater and all that kind of stuff. But we don't know because they don't tell us, so left to guess. Stewart probably knows all this stuff, and unfortunately I don't, but there we go. Then we've got what looks like one of the hatches going in, and then another RyeField weird thing they do. They suddenly put a colour call out right in the middle of the catalogue, so they're putting it at the end, which I find very odd. They do it in the centre. So this one is, do we know anything about it? Where's this? No information about it or it's where it was used at all. Now we get something that is helpful. We get some more information, at least unlike Border, they're giving you the information you do need about the colours of the interior, which is absolutely critical. Yes, they've done that very well, in fairness. Hats off, credit where it's due, folks. Let's give them a round of applause for this. Just a pity they're so obsessed with MIG, really, because, you know, I mean, get over yourself, guys. We're not all using MIG, you know that. So what's the point of just doing it like that? Just give us a conversion sheet at the end or something. But it looks really nice, doesn't it? And it's got clarity there about what the colours should be. At least it gives you a picture in your mind of what it should be like. And then again, we get the other scheme, the more plain scheme. That's, again, no information about where it was in service. Not a sausage. I think we could have done with that at the end. But anyway, maybe having the interior halfway along, that is helpful. Right, then we get, I did get my gunner and my driver mixed up. It was the gunner earlier on, the machine gunner. Now we've got the driver's seat going in. Quite a lot of, again, tiny parts. It looks like there's more ammunition cases, ammo storage at the side. Lots of parts. I've got no idea what they are. Not a clue, because I'm just not told. You'd have to be a World War II, ex-World War II, you know, Wehrmacht Jagdpanther driver to understand all of this, to be honest. That's how complicated it is. And then we've got what looks like the drive. It's the engine, isn't it? Is it the gearbox? It's got it's like a torque converter gearbox thing at the front for driving. So it's got a shaft basically that drives from the engine at the back via drive shafts up to the front. You've got all the pedals here for operating for the driver to operate. It's the clutch, isn't it? I think gearbox. Yeah, clutch and gearbox are at the front, and it drives out of shafts to the sprockets at the front. Wow! Wish you could explain all this. It would be lovely. What's it saying? The gun can be pitched locking. So this is the gun lock, so it doesn't thrash about. The gun can be pitched to unlock. So the gun is... How is that done then? Is that locked internally? Is that what they're saying? Yeah, it's got an internal gun lock by the look of it, so it doesn't pitch about on rough ground. I think that's the idea. And then you've got your transmission going in here, dropping in at the front. Then you've got some wiring or piping and tubing, it looks like you've got to do. Again, it's not very clear. I think you've got to be very fresh to do this one on your A game, because it's some interpretation is needed. Then we've got what looks like is that a camera? What are these things? It looks like a camera to me. All sorts of stuff. You've got external mounting for the. So it's not external mounting. It's actually the racks for the ammunition. I beg your pardon. These here, ammunition racks internally. And then we've got things like the radio sets going in. I think there's a fire extinguisher there. You've got gas masks in cases here. I only know that because I know what they look like. That's all. It's not thanks to them telling me. And then you've got your, what is it, 76mm, isn't it, the gun on this, if I'm right? Again, we don't get told anything. I think it's 76mm, isn't it? 76 or 75, I always get that wrong. Anyway, call it 76. 9.5mm metal cable, which I presume is provided somewhere in the kit. You've got a couple of rounds of shells here, 76mm shells. Again, no explanation about what we're making here or why. Obviously some of the side. Oh, it's the ammo stowage boxes. It becomes clear as you go on. Why they can't just put a little bit of description? I just don't understand it. And on the other side, again, gas mask in a case. Some more cabling. And yes, indeed, here's the shells going in here. So more gas mask, more shells. They're often expecting gas, weren't they? A lot of fitments here, so you've got to line your ammo racks with the ammunition. And then we've got a platform standing area for the gunner and the commander. And then here we've got, what is this? This is the rear engine compartment, the side bulkheads for the engine compartment, which are duly then fitted here. And what's that? Part of the drivetrain of the idler sprockets, I think. Then we've got our engine now. What was the engine in this? Any experts there? Is it a Maybach? I didn't do my homework. I think it might be a Maybach, and probably a little bit light on power, as they often were. They have all this fancy clutch and gearbox system, and it all weighs a lot, but the engine itself isn't that huge, really. You'd expect it to be bigger on a monster like this. Anyway, there's your engine going together. You've got cylinder head, nice rocker covers, which is good. And you've got the where the clutch is here. You also got the exhaust coming out there at the bottom, which looks quite cool. I'll bet the plastic looks brilliant on this, but it does. I won't be so negative when I get to the plastic. I'll be jumping for joy probably. But yeah, there's a lot of piping, and there's cooling, there's trunking going in there. I've got a filter system going on top of the engine, twin filters, and of course that's what you have, the grills, the mesh grills to help filter on the top. I've forgotten it was going to be this detail. And then we've got a couple of air filters, it looks like, air intake filters. Another couple of another cooling fan system. So there's a lot of cooling, a heck of a lot of cooling going on this engine, because there's a lot of heat gets generated. It's a big engine, not the biggest, but big, and lots of heat in a small space. So there's like heat. It looks like a heat exchanger. That even looks like it might be a chill unit for the heating. I think for the interior, maybe like a heat exchanger stroke air conditioner as well. Or I might be just wishful thinking on my part. Anyway, then we've got a lot of these storage spaces which go in. Got to get all your trunking in. There's a lot of trunking in this. It's going to be quite a fiddly build, isn't it? And that's putting it mildly. This is probably the most complex tank kit I think I've ever seen at 35th scale. Then we've got some hatches. It looks like we've got a hatch there coming in. We've got the rear jack, which I mentioned, and again, I was right. We've got some PE to build up the jack. And then we've got more storage boxes. You've got the rear bulkhead wall, and then your actual exhausts, engine exhausts going on here. So on your rear wall, you've got your jacks, you've got your tools, wire cutters over here, and then you've got your storage boxes, and then your main exhausts pumping out the black stuff. And ultimately you're going to fit that, I'm not sure why they showed it upside down, but going to fit that as the back wall to cover up the back of the engine. And then we get down to the wheels and the drive system, drive sprockets, the transmission housing is, which is at the front of course, building that up, building up your road wheels, attaching your suspension, well not the suspension itself but the actual the hub. And then you've got multiple road wheels, of course, interleaving those over here. And then the exterior set goes on the top. And then we just go into the exterior hatches, basically. And look at the detail on these. Oh my god. Lots of little tiny hand grab rails and handles. You've got a little periscope there, viewing periscope, which is like a battlefield one that you just obviously poke out through the hole. Many hatches, most of which split. Use metal wire through the hole. In other words, we haven't drilled this properly, so you're going to have to do our job for us. And then finally you get your top hull with the gun breech and mounting comes down on top of the main hull and chassis. And then you're going to build. I love the way they do this. Look where my thumb is. Just suddenly shows completed tracks. And then says, basically says, but you need to build them, and there's 190 links. Absolute devils. And then lastly, finally got to the end, and lastly, so that we've got this top where the hatches are, the roof, and we've got our headlights, mud guards at the front, and the towing eyes and things like that are all in there now. And then you've just got to use the metal, build the metal cable up, but this time you don't have to make it yourself. They have actually provided it for you. Wow. Well, I'm sorry if I sound slightly cynical about this. I'm extremely grateful to Stewart because I requested this. It wasn't him pushing it on me, quite the opposite. So I don't sound ungrateful, but come on, RyeField, surely they can do a bit better job with the data than that, the instructions, you know? It's just a bit lacking, isn't it, in any description. And when it's so detailed as this, you need as much info as possible. If it was a simple kit, if it was an Airfix, even Airfix gives us much more than that. Come on. Anyway. Rant over. Right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop this over here. And we're going to have a look at the plastic, because I suspect I'll stop complaining when I see the plastic and be quite pleased, because I usually am with RyeField. I find that they are quite good at it, but this could take a while, so I'm going to put a bit more extra light on over there. A bit of light. And let's see what we've got. I'll try not to drag over this too long, because we could be here all night. It's just a huge box of plastic. So I'll tell you what I'll do first. I'll go the logical route, and I'll grab the main parts. So we've got the top of the hull, which is sprue V, and sure enough, the plastic does look really nice. Let's have a look at this. It's the same old story, you know. The design is genius, and the scanning and all that stuff. Even things like the welds they've reproduced really nicely. You just can't be bothered to give you any proper data. When are they going to learn? I mean, you know, I think it's important that people like me do say this and do give them a good bashing over it. You know, and I'm not just talking about RyeField. They're one of in my opinion, one of the better manufacturers from China. But, you know, Border, they can't even be bothered giving you call-outs for colours. It's just not acceptable. I'm sorry. and it needs to be said, and they need to be battered over the head. And if it puts customers off, then good, because we don't want the product not to sell. We want them to get the message and do what they need to do. And I make no apologies. It doesn't matter who the company is. I do not apologise for saying what is basically the right thing and what is true and what is glaringly obvious to everybody else. They just can't be bothered. Anyway. And breathe. Right, look at this. The wells, it's all beautiful. You know, they get the really hard part spot on, and the easy bit they ruin. They do it all wrong. I can't be bothered doing it at all. That's really nice. That is really excellent. I don't know, you know, it's not going to surprise me if this is absolutely 10 out of 10 on the plastic. But they're bound to lose marks for those instructions if they are not clear enough, in my opinion. Right, that's the first one. Second. Right, sorry, got a green screen, let's not have that. Second one. It's just predictable when I do any of these Chinese manufacturers though, you know, you're going to get the same rant over and over. Until they learn, until they actually get the message. There was a manufacturer recently, who was it? And I said what an improvement it was. Can't think who it was now. I'm sure one of them started to add a bit more data. Now, again, the plastic looks exquisite. Look at this. So here you've got all these, this is toward the end of the build actually, where you've got all these ammunition racks. That are these triangular, like a toast rack almost. Look, they've done it beautifully. The plastic's great. Plastic's great. You've got great shaping. You've got the, I think that's the gunner's seat, possibly the driver. Really nice. Got a broken part there somewhere. A broken part. I've just noticed a piece that's just landed on my desk in front of me. I think we have a broken part. Is it that? Something's not right here. Just bear with me a second. Something seems to be slightly wrong and I need my optivisors to check it. It's the only way. Oh, no, I'm wrong, it's not there. I thought the part had broken off one of the sprues, but apparently not. Maybe it's just a rogue piece of sprue. Doesn't matter, we'll put it back in the bag in case that we or Stewart discover later that there is a bit missing off something. Never throw away unless you're absolutely sure it's sprue. Never throw a piece away. That's my watchword. I've got to tell you, I've got the optivisors on there, so I'm seeing it I'm kind of seeing it like you see it. You know, like this piece, this radio, it's beautiful, spot on that. Oh, gorgeous moulding. You know, and you've got all these areas like here where you've got these walkway areas, and it's got the hatching. The moulding is exquisite. There's another radio set over here. There, sorry. Just going max. Make sure we're at full zoom here. Yes, we are. That's lovely, that radio. Look at that. I'm looking at it close up with the optimisor, so I'm getting a similar view to you. That's just gorgeous. You know, they do this plastic so nicely. Still none the wiser where I think this piece of plastic's come from. I thought it was on one of those gun ammunition racks, but maybe not. Nope. No sign of it coming off there, but we won't worry about it. Well, isn't it lovely? Again, look at these pieces here. Again, it's got the exquisite, you know, the hatched, embossed flooring, so it gives them maximum grip underfoot. Fantastic. The rear bulkhead wall, absolutely stellar. Stellar. Yes. Well. They don't disappoint you. Not in the plastic. It's only when you open the instruction manual you're going to get disappointed. Take those off. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just it's kind of predictable. They always ace it on the moulding. And Great Wall Hobby are the same, aren't they? Really. I'd say think Meng is the one that I was thinking of. I can't remember which kit it was, but they produced a kit that I remember saying, oh, they've done a bit more effort on the instructions. Literally, that little tiny piece, just in case Stewart might need it. You might realise that it come off something. I can't see what though. It's a mystery. Not obvious at all. Let's hope there aren't too many more like that. And that's the habit of doing these reviews for other people's kits and then find that there's a bit's broken off and there's always the suspicion falls on you. One good thing about having it on video though, they could see you know when I'm broken it because there'll be a whole furore and a bit of a tantrum usually. A panic. full on champagne disaster. Right, here we go. So oh, these are beautiful parts. These are beautiful parts. I'd say that this is better than Tamiya. It's so fine. Look at this. This is why they frustrate me because they're so good on the one hand, so superior on one thing and so inferior on the other. Drives you mad. Get your act together. Just get some bloody English guy to work for you or an American or an Aussie or a New Zealander or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure that they could do that. Imagine the 10 out of 10 they'd get if they had decent instructions. Because this is 10 out of 10 plastic, isn't it? So many parts that are so incredibly detailed. Oh, breathtaking, really. I mean, this is as good as you're going to see, you know. I don't think I've seen better moulding than that. It's so high standard, this. I mean, that's 7 years old, is it now? Yeah, about 7 years old. Well, it's blinking good, isn't it? Absolutely stellar. Really nice. Huh. That's interesting, isn't it? So they have like a mount, an area where they stand and you build up the gun breech on, but it flicks up so they can get down underneath if they need to do maintenance. It's got hinges on it. That's cool. But again, look at these parts here under where it says B. Look at the detail they've achieved here. Look at the fineness of this moulding. Just amazing, frankly. So all the more frustrating that they can't be bothered to do a few instructions that make sense and actually have some data for you, tell you what you're building and just a paragraph or so about the history of the vehicle. It's just weird. Well, so far the plastic's been 10 out of 10, which is, I'm sure, the way it's going to pan out. It's worth seeing. I hope it's coming across as well on the camera as it is to my eye. It was interesting that when I just had those optivisors on, it looked even more amazing, to be honest. It really looks 10 out of 10, you know. Right. We'll be here a while. This is going to be a long review, I can tell. Stewart's also sent me the King Tiger with full interior. It's going to be an even longer review, that one, I'll tell you. Is that RyeField as well? I think it is. Oh, but this is a treat for your eyes. Check this out. Absolutely stunning. Need to move the box because it's taking our light over there. There we go. Look at that. This is a sprue N. You've got that the main mantlet area, which is so nicely done. And then you've got your little gun port. Look at the detail on that. The gun port. Can you see it's got like a feathered edge? Like to represent the weld. It's beautiful. I'm not sure if the camera's doing this justice or not. That is absolutely amazing, that edge. around the edge of it. It's not flash, it's like a feathered edge, it's like the weld. Incredible. That's something else. Let me put the optimizers on. I want to get a bit of what you're getting. Oh, that is sublime, isn't it? Can you get that again? Can you see the feathered edge? That is astonishingly good, got to say. And that's 10 out of 10 right there. And then you've got your rear deck. Obviously you've got your transmission drive to the drive sprockets. You've got all your hatches over here. Whoops. Hatches. Yeah. Some truly exquisite parts here. Just incredible. As good as you get anywhere, this. Fantastic. That's absolutely gorgeous. And then you've got your tools. And you've got your spade and you've got your wire cutters. And you've got your brace for the winding the jack just below the wire cutters. Sheesh. Epic. That is definitely top notch. Sometimes I look at this and I think RyeField with proper instructions could be the best, considered the best in the world. But they just won't let themselves win because they just won't let themselves do. They're copying their competitors, which is a mistake because they're copying the wrong ones. They're copying the local ones. And what they should be doing is copying Zokimura or Tamiya or RyeField. On the instructions at least, nothing else. Right, here we go. I mean, this plastic is a treat for the eyes. I thought it would be. Look at that trunking. That's absolutely epic as well. Check this out. Huh. Move that forward a bit, actually. There we go. Look at this trunking. Here in the middle. Look at that. How realistic is that trunking? It's like slide moulded. Yeah, they have slide moulded all of this. In fact, look, as I show you from the end, everything's hollow. That is really nice. So everything you've got, there's the actual the gun muzzle. You won't see a nicer muzzle than that, I don't think, in plastic. Look at that. Ah. And this trunking is just, that is just so realistic, you know, the way they've got the fluting of it, corrugation. Brilliant. Even this thin stuff, this thin trunking here on the thumb is, look at that, and that's hollow as well, look. Just see on the other side so you get to see it from the back as well, look at that. Just amazing. State-of-the-art moulding technology, that. And it's 7 years old, can't believe it. Then you've got your main gun. And don't forget we've got an actual spring in here. Whether it's a real metal spring, I think it is. And that will become clearer. I hope it is. Yes, it's a real metal spring, it's over here. In this package. It says. Get no focus. There you go. Spring. So you've got a sprung barrel, recoil suppression, and then you've got all of this detail. You're out to sort of mantle it. And here you've got all the breech components. And you've got the seat. Even that, just above my thumb. Even that's good, isn't it? Look at the way it's shaped. Brilliant. concave on one side, convex on the other. Jeez. Well, that's an epic sprue. Epic sprue, that. Just absolutely gorgeous. And then down this side you've got, these are the parts of the internal parts of the gun breech. Shielding. Whew. I'm getting exhausted by this. Mentally, physically, my eyes are getting exhausted. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's really nice. Got the horrible bit out of the way at the beginning. The demonstration. Jeez. I could spend my entire life doing instructions rants, couldn't I, really? Try not to do that then. That was nice. So much of this plastic as well, just keeps on coming. It's like a box of never-ending delights. Right, let's look at something a bit different. Let's have a look at this ammunition, of which there is much, and they are always good at this. Two sprues that are identical, so we'll just look at one. Just forgive me for a moment while I get a bit of what you're getting. Check this out. You're going to like this one. Oh boy. Look at that. Just so much detail. Come a bit closer. Absolutely joyous, isn't it? Just fantastic. You run out of superlatives when you're looking at something as good as this, really. So that's sprue S, of which there are twins. And there you go. Definitely worth seeing. And if you'll just bear with me a second, I'm getting myself tiny knots in. Making sure I'm not showing you something I've already shown you before. Those are lovely, those shells, aren't they? The only thing I would say, the only criticism, they've gone and put the sprue attachment point right at the base of the shell. So you're not going to have a very realistic looking end on the shell, on the casing. You're not going to have like a striker point in the middle of it, because unfortunately, yeah, that's the point. They should have really done that slightly differently. You've got amazing detail, but when you've got them racked up, you will see the ends of them. So maybe they shouldn't have done that. That's a slight criticism on this small thing. I suppose it's the lesser of two evils. They're trying to get the ultimate detail on the business end of the shell. That's what that's all about, I think. Oops. Oh, Stewart. It's alright, it's not broken anything, it's just the packaging's done a bit awry. The stickies come off very strangely. That was odd. Don't think it'll matter now. What have we got here? Oh, lots and lots of tiny parts. Check this out. Now these are these things I thought were the ammunition boxes. Can you see them? Yeah. Yeah, I think they actually are. I don't know if it's like still not sure about what they are. Well, they can't be individual bullets, surely, are they? I thought so. Anyway, some of you will know this, I'm sure. Stewart probably does. But look at the detail again here. Look at the fineness of the moulding and the cleanness of it and the sharpness of it. There are many parts. Did it say how many parts were on it? I've got a feeling that they don't tend to say on RyeField. I don't think they want to say. It should just maybe just says there are many many parts. Yeah. It's strange that the adhesive came off that for no power adhesive. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, then we've got some clear parts. Now we have the option, strangely, of a clear engine deck. So you can see into the engine. Bit naff really, you know. However, I can see the logic of it to a degree, and it is very clear in fairness. Check this out. So this is the optional clear engine deck. I say optional, maybe it is the engine deck and you have to paint it anyway. Or you have the option to paint it anyway, I should say. But look. In fact, it's not, is it? I've just realised it's not the engine deck. Stop it. It's not the engine deck, Peter. It's actually it's the roof of the tank of the Jagdpanther. It's the roof. It's the top armour, clear. It's a clear section, so that you can see inside. Okay. In some respects that works better. Maybe. I mean, you could always leave it clear for a few months, and if you think don't like it, think it looks a bit naff, you can always spray over it, can't you, later on? Well, that's what it is. It's the top, the roof, basically, of the top armour. So you look through. It's quite a nice bit of plastic. Yeah, it's got some minor distortion in it, but I've seen worse. It's fit for purpose, that, I think. Quite an interesting, and you've got some periscopes, of course, clear parts. Yes, interesting. Don't think I've seen that before, not like that anyway. So there's some interesting options there. Next we have our, what have we got here? I won't bother opening this, to be honest. We got a couple of rubber rings. I think these are around where the drive sprockets come out. Or are they? They might be the rings on top of the grills actually for the engine cooling vents. Sorry, I'll zoom in a bit more. And of course on the other side you've got your cable. So you've got your tow cable. And you've got some what looks almost like lead wire, your recoil suppression spring for the gun barrel, and then on the other side the ones I'm just babbling on about are these rings. I think it's actually the cooling vents, the cooling fans on top of the engine. That's where they go. We'll leave that in this bag, I think. This one, yes, we've got some nice detail here, some tools and things. Here we go. What have we got? We've got some of these tiny, tiny parts. This is where the part count is right high. So we've got all the little hatch handles. We've got a hatchet and an axe. All manner of things. Towing cables. But very, very small parts, yeah. Teeny weeny parts, look at them. Ooh, those are challenging on the eyes, I'll tell you. You're going to need the optivisors and then some. I have been known on odd occasions to wear not one, not two, but 3 different optical instruments. I've been known to wear my super close glasses, a pair like this beyond, and the optimisors on the top. But the trouble is, when you're using such a big zoom, it makes your hands look like you've got shaky hands. It's really, everything is exaggerated, and it's actually quite hard to coordinate because it's a bit out of your comfort zone and everything seems different, you know? Anyway, on we go. Oh, let's look at the tracks. Must we? Mustn't drop any of these because it's very important we don't lose even one of them. So they come in a separate bag that are brown. I'm sure about that. And here they are. So these are your track links. That's the inside of them, obviously. That is the outside, roadside. And there's a great big bag of them. So you got a lot of fun building those up, and they work via, yeah, they have a pin. You have to put a pin through them, as I think you saw in the instructions. Oh boy. Make sure I seal that up, we don't lose even one of them. That was Stewart telling me off. Oh, what have we got here? We've got a figure. I mentioned a figure, wasn't I? A second, didn't know we had a figure. He's taped it to the side, so I shall retape that after. A figure, a resin figure. That's cool. Did he come with the kit? Was it a special? Ooh, yes, he's a nice figure as well. So, I'll probably have to show you this one at a time, but let's see if I can get him in the hand, like so. Check this out. Now we know that resin seldom photographs well, but I think that's coming out okay. Yeah, you can see he's got his typical Wehrmacht tanker's outfit on. Probably a black, probably SS or something. But anyway, very smartly done. Fantastic detail. Yeah. And he's got his hands. It's like he's standing on. I think he's sitting on the top of the tanks. He's got his hand down. It's a similar pose to one of my Tamiya ones, isn't it? Actually, hand down on that side. This left hand. He's got the left hand down as well. Whoops. So that tells you that he's sort of standing on the rim of the tank, out of the hatch. And then we've got his head, and I just don't know how well this is going to come out. Yeah. That's really quite something. He's really, it's got amazing definition actually, things like his hair. I'm not sure if it's really showing up for you, but it's very, very sharp. Fantastic figure. It's going to be like one of these Qatari ones, I think, where you really end up with a heck of a lot of detail on it, to be honest. So, zooming out, sorry. I'm a bit trouble my zoom today. Let's just zoom you out. So I just, somebody at the door then, it just distracted me slightly. Right, let's have a look at what we've got. That's a lovely figure though. So you've actually got like a commander, Jagdpanther commander. Very nice indeed. So we've still got a lot of sprues to go, I've got to be honest. A cup of tea to be honest. I'll try and speed it up a bit. It's just nice to see something so well moulded, isn't it? Oh, look at this. So these are the main lower hull components now. Whoops. And as you can see, there is a lot of detail here. A lot of detail. And yeah, you've got all the oh, it's actually more detail on this side. So that's the inside. This is the outside, of course. So you've got all your escape hatches underneath, which I'm not sure if you can actually escape through them. I'm not sure how that works, and you've got those torsion bars in the way. But they are access hatches, aren't they? Especially under the engine and gearbox. And then you've got your main area for the drive wheels here. So as we're looking at it, this is obviously the front, and then you've got your front glasses here, which is where your machine gun port goes, and yeah, we've really got the main rear bulkhead there. So that's another good one. I mean, they just ace it, don't they? On the finesse of the detail and the moulding and the crispness of it. You're not going to beat that. I don't think anybody beats that. Tamiya are just as clean and has the finesse, but it's not quite as crisp. We've been really, really critical about it. For me, RyeField are probably the crispest of the crisp. Just repeat yourself. Only if only they would make more effort with their instructions. Now then, some interesting parts. How long would it take you to build this? This would take me about 2.5 years. Oh, I'm not joking either. I mean, if I really focused on it, like I did with that Tamiya Spitfire 36 scale Mark 9 Spitfire, which by the way was in real terms was my fastest build ever in terms of what was required versus the time taken. So I built the Mustang in 3 months, and I built that Spitfire, which is almost the same concept, the same detail. I built that in 2 months. 25th of October, finished on Christmas morning. If only I was as good as that now, eh? That was 6 years ago. I don't know what's gone wrong in the meantime, but obviously I've lost a lot of speed. Too much YouTube videos, that's the problem. But hey, it's worth it, isn't it? Look at this. Look at the detail here. On and on and on the detail goes. Just look at that. Here you've got all your toe hooks. You've got the barrel cleaning rod there, barrel cleaning rod. Some of the fine detail you've got. Can you see that? Tiny. There's a tiny hole in the end of this. Don't know if you can make it out. It's actually hollow. See through it. That's how fine their moulding is, that they can get a hole that size. Not many would get that without it filling in with flash. There's you got your barrel lock here. Turn it upside down, it makes more sense. There you go, barrel lock. Again, wire cutters, an axe, all manner of things. And here we've got two other optional different gun ports, machine gun. Interesting. You got your drives, your transmission exit drive for the drive sprocket. Over here, what's that? The detail on this one here. There. This one. Incredible. Can you see that? Absolutely epic. You've got all the cleats. MG34, it is the MG34. MG34 there. The jack here. And then this is the storage for the gun cleaning rods and things. And then you've got the tow cable at the ends with the eyes on. Absolutely amazing there. The detail on this, the sharpness and the smallness of it all. Oh, I think some people are going to look at this review and think, and I'm starting to think this way myself, you're going to look at the review and you're going to start to think to yourself, honestly, are my eyes even good enough for this, really, to build it, you know, with this level of detail, this intensity of a build, you know. No, Stewart's very, very good at this kind of thing. He really is into his armour. So I suspect he's already braced himself. I don't know if he wears glasses. I don't think he told me or not. I must ask him. But when he's finished this, he probably will need to, because it'll ruin your eyes. Right, we've got some more interesting parts here. It's another. This is going to be one of the longest reviews I've done in a while. You know, without any history or larking around, I mean, you know. so much plastic, it keeps on coming. Endless. Now this is where we get into what I think makes RyeField almost unique. Look at these fans here. Just look at the detail on these fans. Look at that. They're hollow, they've got separate blades, and they're really, really small, and they haven't filled in. None of that, I'm just checking now, none of it's filled in. I'm not sure if you can, at this angle you may not get the full benefit really, but trust me, those fans are epic. Absolutely gorgeous. Then we've got some more of these ammunition racks storing the shells. Over here we've got two different options. Obviously there's different versions of this kit. Two different options for the rear wall, rear bulkhead, at the back of the tank. This is the base, of course, where there's that circular floor which folds up and can lift up for maintenance. And here we've got these internal storage boxes and things that we talked about in the instructions. But, you know, some absolutely amazing stuff going on there. You know, just truly epic detail. I mean, what's this kit retailing for? I'm thinking it's about 65 to 70 pounds, something like that. Maybe 75. It's in that region. It's worth every penny, I think. It's worth every penny. The plastic is, anyway. Definitely. What are you going to get? I mean, I'm going to go back now and look at my own review of the Meng. I mean, the Meng is epic. It's really nice. But that was a lot cheaper. I think I paid, I don't know, 35, 40 pounds for it. But I don't think it's quite got this level. It hasn't, because I haven't got the interior. This is on a different level. If you want the ultimate Jagdpanther, this is the one for you, I think. Right, yet more treats and treasures raining down upon us. Look at this. Look at this trunking. The detail on that. It's quite incredible. You've got like this is like 3 lockers for the crew. Put their gear in. You know, personal belongings and stuff, little lockers. That's incredible. Never seen that before. I think I'm right, that's what it is. Don't think it's a radio. And then we've got, this is obviously, I think I'm right in saying that this is possibly a shared sprue with the Panther kit, because it looks like a Panther internal gun mount on the Panther, that to me, doesn't it? Or is it the external mount? I think it's the external mount of the underneath the armour plate for the glasses on the mantlet, I should say. I think I'm right. I think this is a Panther sprue. So obviously it's got the Panther engine. Here it is, complete with all the storage bins and, you know, assortment of places where they put the ammunition, different size rounds. You've got your cylinder heads here, look. Talked about those in the instructions. Yeah, it's a Panther sprue, I'm sure of it. It's basically a shared sprue because it's got common parts. I mean, that's mighty fine. Again, you know, some really nice detail going on here. We're getting near the end slowly. I need a rest, I need a drink after this. I think this is me done for the day, I've got to be honest. This is my last review, but some of you might have noticed recently, you might think I've become a bit disgusting and I don't change my clothes very often. But the reality is I've done quite a few reviews in one day, which is why I have the same shirt on. So don't go thinking I don't have a shower or I wear the same shirt for weeks and weeks and weeks. 4 or 6 weeks with the same shirt. No, quite a lot of mass production of videos and reviews were done in one day. That is why I have the same shirt on. My new gift from my wife for Christmas, this is. and it's what's his name? The chap from Spandau Ballet, Martin Kemp. One of these Martin Kemp shirts from Sainsbury's, I believe. Look at this. Anyway, enough of the fashion. Look at this. Check out all the grates and grills here. This is all the engine grills and the hatches, access hatches. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. And again, beautiful detail there. I mean, I like my Jagdpanther. I've got the Meng one and I'm going to build it one day, but I've no desire to build this. But hell, do I admire this, because I tell you something, this has got to be the best, most detailed Jagdpanther kit ever. Surely. I mean, just look at it. It just goes on and on and on, and it's just spoiling you. Every part seems to spoil you with the quality. Just doesn't stop, does it? It's like a tsunami of fine moulding and ultra detailing, you know. Mind-boggling. This video, my wife is going to go ballistic and say, "It's how long? Why? Why were you being boring?" And I say, "Don't blame me. I didn't make the kit, you know." I mean, I did one. Was it one of the Black Hawk helicopter kits? It was only about, I don't know, 20 minutes or something. 15 or 20 minutes. I can be short sometimes. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just delivering a message from RyeField Model. Oh no! How many more are there? Oh, there's another 3 bags. I think there's only 3 bags of 5 sprues, but actually 2 of them are duplicates. So we're fine. We're fine. We'll do with a brick. I'll tell you. Anyway. Get to the point where it's that time of the day for a glass of wine, actually. Getting late in the day here. I'm going to have deserved it after. But it's a fine kit. More of the same, you know, more of the same. Not the same, but more of the same standard. Look at this. Oh. And the parts, I can't name the parts because I just don't know. There's so many of them. They're so broken down. It's something reminded me of that other kit from Stewart, funnily enough, the mini base flanker, where it had, you know, small components in the cockpit, and let's not have one piece where you've got all these switches. Let's just do them switch by switch, almost literally. Let's not produce, you know, one part when 13 will do. It's a little bit like that. Look at the seats here, aren't they nice? One seat there, the other one is above it, there. Oh, that's cool. And again, it's the finesse of the moulding. Look at these here, the holes, little tiny holes, not filled in, no flash whatsoever. It's jaw-dropping, isn't it? I almost, you know, I kind of want to forgive them for their appalling instructions, but I'm not gonna. But the plastic, you know, it's like the plastic and the instructions are made by 2 completely different species from different planets. Really, it's just incredible. Oh, look at the let me show this. The prop drive shaft, one of the drive shafts. Look, with its universal joints in the middle. Can you see that? Universal coupling. Whoops, lost it. Where's it gone? There it is. Look at that. There's 2 of them actually, that one and that one. Fantastic. That's epic. I'm almost bored of saying epic, fantastic, unbelievable, you know, jaw-dropping, blah, blah, blah. Like I say, if you just get rid of the aliens who produce the instructions and get some humans to do it, that speak English, we'd be absolutely laughing at these guys. It's just incredible to me that a company can get one thing so perfect and the other so wrong, you know. I'm sure it's clearly different people that are doing the different jobs. Where is it? I can't get in. Oh, it's there. Get in. Give it a twist. But now here we've got some problems for you. What did I say about the tracks? I said Jason will get upset when he sees this. It's going to give him PTSD, this sprue is now. You watch this. Here we go. You ready, Jason? Here are the track pins. Now, he complained on the Tiger. I think it was an early model Tiger, I'm not quite sure. He really complained about these pins and said that they weren't toleranced right. He had real trouble with them. There are a lot of pins here. You've got to be very clean when you cut these off, and you mustn't lose them. I mean, they're tiny, aren't they? Look how tiny they are. You know, compared to my thumb. There's my thumb, and there's the pins. And then you got your idler wheels here. Also the road wheels, in fact. Yeah, road wheels, and not idler wheels. And then over here, we've got what I think is the battery. And then you've got these shock absorbers that recoil absorption for the gun. Another fantastic looking fan. Many beautifully formed parts. I mean, that is just... And then you've got shells and shells and shells and shells and shells and more shells and more shells. A lot of shells. Look at this lot. It goes on forever. And there are two of this sprue, so everything you see is doubled, literally. I just find it absolutely incredible, really. And then, so bear in mind there are two of these. Oh, I feel absolutely exhausted. Pop that back in there and then let us... Oh, something else to note which I didn't spot. A little bit of slide moulding which I just missed completely. See it there? It's the telltale about the way the sprue does a dip. Some beautiful slide moulding, look at that. Oh, these are the lights. Not quite sure what those parts are, but they've been done beautifully. Absolutely epic. Top work. Absolutely epic. Anyway, the end is near. I'm not complaining. It's kind of complaining for the right reasons, this, isn't it? I had a feeling it was going to be a rather long one, and we are now to the very final sprue. And it's got the torsion bars on it for the road wheels and suspension, and all the wheels. And again, they're absolutely stunning. Look at this. Let's go with the wheels first. There's your road wheels. And you've got your drive sprocket. And again, everything you see is duplicated on the second sprue. It's identical. Two lots of this sprue. Look at that. It's a drive wheel. Look at that. That's incredible. Look at the detail. Look at the teeth on that. Absolutely beautiful. Then, oh, it's come off the sprue. It was actually just hanging on by a thread. Oh, sorry, Stuart. Didn't even know I touched that. And that really was hanging on by a thread. But don't worry, we haven't lost it. And it's not damaged. Hasn't damaged the tooth, thank God. There it is. Look. It's worthy of another look, actually. Look at that. I mean, come on, guys. That's beautiful. I mean, I'm glad it dropped off the sprue without any damage. There is another one on the other sprue as well, of course. And then we get to these torsion bars. Which again, look at them. Aren't they fine? Beautiful perfection of moulding. Yeah. And these are the ones that run from one side to the other. Obviously taking the shocks from the road wheels. These tiny brackets and quite astonishing pieces. There's the one that's just fell off, the missing one. To be okay. Absolutely epic. You know, and look at the detail on the other side of these drive sprockets as well. They're really nice, aren't they? And then you've got the other end of the torsion bars, and then you've got the shrouds for the exhausts where it comes out of the body, and you've got the exhaust itself there. Just beautiful. Look at these tiny parts here, look at that lot. I tell you what, there's a real risk here. Huge risk that the carpet monster's going to get you, because there's some parts on it that are just minute, you know, absolutely eye challenging for sure. Eye challenging. Right, I'm going to make sure that sprocket goes back where it belongs. Don't want that getting loose, that's for sure. And in it will go. Bear with me 1 second. I shall give my verdict on this behemoth of a kit. I mean, it makes you laugh sometimes because you look at these kits and you think, oh yeah, oh, why is that 70 quid? Because the box isn't very big, but they pack it right in, don't they? And they really pack these in. So, I am going to return it. I do like one thing about RyeField as well. The sprues are a uniform size, so you don't have this problem of getting it back in because they all basically conform. So, if you put them back properly, they all basically conform to a set dimension. So here we've got our little extras. We have got our main top of the hull, and ultimately a lot of small bits as well, some of which can probably go in there, including those clear parts, I think I see. Yeah, there. And then here. There's a little bit of duplication of some of the Panther parts. And this is where we have the problem there, because we get to the top and I will never be able to get it back in like they did at the factory. I'm determined to do it, bear with me. Determined to. However, on second thought, I think we'll do that later, because I'm just going to delay matters. What's the verdict then? That's got to be the most. Does it say how many parts are in this kit? No, not that side. No, they never say, do they? It's got to be 600 or 700 at least, I think. Easy. I reckon it's well over 700, probably even pushing 800. Right, so what didn't I like? I didn't like the instructions. I thought they were fairly average and quite confusing at times. I think they should be much better. I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10, which I think is a fair score. I think it loses a couple of points for that, and it doesn't have a lot of schemes on it, and the instructions are just daft and putting the colour call-outs in the middle and all that stuff anyway. But we won't dwell on that, because the plastic, if you can get past the instructions, if you can work out how to assemble it, you've got what's going to be a masterpiece. Don't know how easy it's going to be. It looks fiddly. That's an understatement. It looks mega fiddly, doesn't it? But what a beautiful, beautiful example of injection moulding that is. Absolutely stunning. So it's 9.5 out from me. It's annoying in a way because it should be a 10. It should be 10 out of 10. And it would be if it had half fathomable instructions with just a bit of basic info on it. You know, it doesn't even have any... Oh, hang on a minute. I just realised there's a bit of detail on the front. Did it give us how many parts there were? Working part? No, it doesn't say how many parts. No, it doesn't. They don't want to admit it. They put you off, that's why. For modelers aged 14 and above, it should say 40 and above. Anyway, yeah, it should be a 10 out of 10, as I say, because it's only let down. There's nothing wrong with the plastic. It's absolutely epic parts. Detail like perhaps you've never seen. It's up there with the very finest kits on the market for sure. So if they could just sort out that stupidity of the instructions, it would be the greatest example of a armour kit on the market. Right up there. So there we go. Hope you'll give me a 10 out of 10. Thank you if you've stood till the end. I can't believe how long, I don't know how long it's taken. It must be 90 minutes or something like that. Been a long while, but it's been quite exhausting. But I want you to see what it's really like. That is, I'm glad I got it out, because it makes mine look a bit simpler than it is. My main version. But if you want super detail, if you want the ultimate, that is the Jagdpanther for you. That is the Jagdpanther for you. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it was entertaining and interesting. And please stick around. I do have another one from Stewart. In fact, I've got another couple from Stewart. One will be in the not too distant future. One will be more over in the summer, I think, because I want to do a comparison. There's another kit coming out. We're going to do a back-to-back. Anyway, we'll be back soon. We've got that King Tiger of his to do. It's going to be more like this, and I need a rest between now and then. But thank you to Stewart very much for loaning the kit. It's absolutely a stunning example of a model. And it's much appreciated, so thank you very much to you. And until next time, thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves, stay well, stay safe. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.